Wanda and Vision, aren't we a five-pair?
This is our home now. I want us to fit in.
Hey everyone, welcome to Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy, and we just got a surprise trailer for WandaVision. I am so psyched for this. So, let's break down all the Easter eggs, references, and little things that you might have missed. First of all, I'm going to start off with my theory for what this show is. I think that Wanda, who has reality warping powers in the comics, has created her own pocket universe. Now in this universe, she can change reality however she wants, but it also affects the outside universe. I'm telling you this theory up front because I think that as we examine the trailer, it'll really help inform what we're seeing here. So Wanda's pocket universe seems to be based on a television, or at least different television shows. And of course that makes sense because what is a TV? It's basically like a pocket universe that sits inside of our homes. We start off in a 1950s sitcom, and there's elements of a lot of different sitcoms here. This is basically the set of the Dick Van Dyke Show, but mostly this seems to take from the sitcom Bewitched. Now if you're not familiar, in that sitcom it's about a suburban couple who are perfectly normal, except the mom just happens to be a witch, and she's trying to hide this from everyone in the neighborhood, particularly a noisy neighbor. Now we see an element of that noisy neighbor here with the dinner involving Deborah Jo Rupp from that 70s show.
You moved from? How long have you been married, and why don't you have children yet?
You see, they just keep digging at her and digging at her and digging at her until finally her reality starts to break down and we expand from the 4x3 TV screen into full letterbox. So here's what I think happened. Wanda and Vision are connected. We see this in Infinity War.
I just feel you.
That movie also points out that the two of them work on the same sort of energy harmonic frequency. In other words, she's a part of him and he's a part of her.
I just feel you.
There's even a hint that the Vision is living on inside of Wanda at the end of Endgame.
You know, I wish there was a way that I could let her know that we won.
She knows. We both do.
So, since Wanda is able to create this pocket universe, and since she has the consciousness of the Vision embedded inside of her, she's able to resurrect the Vision inside this universe.
Oh, this is gonna be a gas!
This is where we get our first glimpse of the mysterious Katherine Hahn character. As far as I know, no one has announced who she's playing. I have a theory about who she's playing, though. I think this is your mom. I'm just kidding. I actually think she's playing Agatha Harkness. Now, Agatha Harkness is a character from the comics. She was Franklin Richards' nanny, but most importantly, she taught the Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, how to use her magical powers. Now, Agatha is a witch. Like Doctor Strange, she has magical abilities. Her origin story is she was actually a witch in Salem during the Salem witch trials, and she's still alive today. Remember, the MCU is also going to be introducing Blade and vampires, so magic is going to be a lot more than Doctor Strange hopping between dimensions. It's like they're introducing a whole new element to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, we see Wanda moving things around with her mind. This is basically one of the powers that Samantha had on Bewitched. We also see Vision changing his appearance, much like the hologram he uses in the comics, when he disguises himself as Victor Shade, and his disguise in Infinity War.
Wanda.
Now, back to that dinner scene. You see here that Wanda suddenly becomes confused, like she doesn't realize that she's in a pocket universe that she's created. In the comic book, she also has a very tenuous hold on sanity. At one point, she even goes crazy, I'll get to why in a second, and she eliminates all the mutants off planet Earth. And the name of that storyline was House of M, the same name as the wine that she pours out here. So, as Wanda becomes confused, notice the TV age starts to shift now into the 1970s. This is very much inspired by the Brady Bunch. Then we move into the 1980s, which very much looks like the sitcom Family Ties. Notice the Vision's flannel shirt tucked in, very reminiscent of Stephen Keaton from that show. Okay, now notice they have two babies. This is actually huge and has major ramifications for the future of the MCU going forward, and I am not exaggerating. These are the Vision and Scarlet Witch's sons, Thomas and William. It even seems like she manifests the children because of prodding from her TV family.
And why don't you have children yet?
Now, in the comics, Wanda goes crazy when she finds out that she basically imagined these twins into existence. That's when all the stuff happens with her getting rid of all the mutants. But these twins did later come back. It's a long story how, but they came back as teenagers and founding members of the team Young Avengers. And in the previous trailer on this fridge, you can see the initials T and B, standing for Thomas and Billy, the names of Wanda's children. If we look carefully at the seeds being planted for the future of the MCU, it definitely looks like they're building toward a Young Avengers team. In fact, we have a video coming out about that later this week. You should check it out. And you notice that you see Katherine Hahn's character with Wanda throughout all of these different TV show iterations. I think what happened is Katherine Hahn is playing Agatha Harkness or some other witch in the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe. Then Wanda creates this pocket universe, and Agatha goes into it to kind of guide Wanda through what's happening and to help her with her powers, just like she does in the comics. When Vision wakes up, notice that the soundtrack goes from a backing track to diegetic, meaning that she's listening to this in her car.
That fills me.
This implies that Katherine Hahn is in the real world, or is at least tied to the real world. When he touches her, you can see the crackle of yellow energy, the energy of the Mind Stone. So how is this possible? Is Wanda going to bring the Mind Stone back? Well, the stones were destroyed, but their energy remained. Their energy is eternal. The stones are just a manifestation of that energy.
These Infinity Stones each control an essential aspect of existence.
That's why Wanda and Carol Danvers have retained their powers. So it seems like the resurrected Vision will still be able to tap into the energy of the Mind Stone.
You know, I don't know what this is.
So it seems like Wanda has subconsciously created this pocket universe. She's resurrected the Vision, and both of them are confused about where they are. But as soon as things get too confusing, Wanda creates a new universe, and the process starts all over. Except we have Katherine Hahn's character there to explain to them who they really are in the real world.
Am I dead?
No. Why would you think that?
Because you are.
In this case, she tells Vision that he died in the real universe. So you can see in the trailer Vision and Wanda kind of figuring this out. Wanda's working on her powers while Vision's floating above the world, trying to discern if it's actually real or not.
This is our home now. I want us to fit in.
So why do I think this is a pocket universe? Because of this shot. This is actually Monica Rambeau, Maria Rambeau's daughter from Captain Marvel, except now she's all grown up. So I think what's happening here is she's grown up, she's gone into the pocket universe where she was absorbed into Wanda's fantasy. In this case, a character from the 1970s. Then somehow she gets pushed out of the pocket universe back into reality, but she's still dressed like the 70s character. This could also explain how she gets her powers. In the comics, she had the power to transform into light. She started off with the name Captain Marvel, but then became the hero Photon. Now notice we have all these helicopters and government agency guys looking at her when she's on the ground. I think this is Shane Berenjew. He's playing a SWORD agent. Now, if you're not familiar, SWORD is kind of the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the comics. They deal with extraterrestrial threats. SWORD was also teased in one of the post-credits scene of Spider-Man Far From Home.
Got my shoes!
So I think it would make sense if Monica was a SWORD agent. She was sent into the pocket universe to find out what was going on. She got absorbed into Wanda's craziness, and then she gets pushed back out by Agatha. Except now, she has the powers of Captain Marvel. Notice that when she breaks through, this barrier crackles, almost like the static of a TV set. Also, this sign caught my attention. It's the sort of sign that would welcome you into a town, except all we can see is WE. Well, this newspaper within the pocket universe reads, "Little baby June's first words tickle mother." This is probably a nod to June Cleaver, and a way of showing that in this universe there are no conflicts, just happy babies and their moms. Also, this paper is the Westview Herald. So maybe Wanda creates this universe inside of the real town of Westview. Then, kind of like the movie Annihilation, this alternate dimension is expanding and threatening reality. It even looks like the government has set up a perimeter around this town. This could also explain the roles of two other returning MCU cast members, Jimmy Woo as Randall Park and Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis. They could be agents of SWORD. He was an FBI agent with superhuman experience, and Darcy interned under the foremost authority on Einstein-Rosen bridges. The series seems like it's going to be based, in part, on the Vision and Scarlet Witch limited series and the brilliant Tom King book Vision. Both comics are about these heroes moving to the suburbs and trying to live an ordinary life. There's fun little Easter eggs all throughout too, like the two of them wearing comic-accurate costumes for Halloween. Now notice, Wanda is just all in, enjoying this universe, enjoying this fun life she has with Vision. But Vision, being more analytical, is starting to sense that something is wrong. And later on, when he floats above the town, you can see that it's at Halloween, judging by these decorations, and the costume that Katherine Hahn's character is wearing. It's also a pretty big hint that she's a witch when she's dressed up as an actual witch. Now, Kevin Feige has said that this show is going to lead directly into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Maybe that's because this pocket universe that Wanda's created is essentially another universe, where if she goes insane is a universe of madness. So part of that movie could be Doctor Strange trying to help Wanda in this pocket universe and then dealing with all the ramifications that come from her reality-altering powers. But what did you guys think of the trailer? Which Disney Plus show are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments below. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. For Screen Crush, I am Ryan Airy.